Oh, we're live already. Okay, cool. The audio quality might be a little bit less today than usually because I did move my desk. And right now my desk is in the corner of the room. And that means that there's a lot more like reverb going on. Because I'm under like a diagonal bit of roofing and like closer to the actual wall. So the sound is bouncing around a lot more. I've tried putting down some like pillows to see if they could like function as sound absorbing, but it doesn't seem like they're working particularly well. Like if I do this, you can tell immediately how much better this sounds. But now the pillow is literally in front of my monitor, so we can't fucking do that. What I actually will need to do is I will just need to buy some like sound panels to put up on the problematic pieces of like ceiling. But until then, I guess we just like put down some pillows here and hope for the best. I don't know exactly what the most problematic bits here are. OBS does seem to do a halfway decent job at filtering the like reverb out. My voice might sound a little bit distorted. Hopefully by next week I should have that sorted out and I should have like soundproofing in this little corner over here. But until then, we're gonna have to deal with it this way, and hopefully it's not too bothersome for all of you guys. So today, what we'll be doing is, first and foremost, we're going to be setting this back to... Actually, let's do a little tour of what I did off stream, because I did do a little bit of work off stream. And that is, I did the lighting, at least like preliminarily, for these areas over here. So we now have some more lighting in these areas as well, which is, again, it's pretty straightforward for the most part, like nothing too fancy, nothing too complicated, just to have a bit of a vibe going on here. And then like this little hallway is very well lit because we have all these little lanterns. Matter of fact, we might be able to like knock down the brightness on every single one of these a little bit and still make it work properly. So let's see, do we have like an intensity? I don't think we... Oh, that's annoying. Because I have multiple things selected, it doesn't let me edit the individual components. So that is not ideal. We can probably bring the intensity down to like 5 for all of these. So I can just like go through. I could do them one at a time, which is very slow. So we probably should do something for that. Like make a editor utility widget or something like that. That will just allow me to do this more easily. But then again, we're almost done with this anyway. So it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Yeah, it's a little less over the top as far as like brightness goes. And then we have this stuff over here. And here I started using some more spotlights. So far over here, we're using a lot of rectangular lights. I'm not entirely sure what I like better, because the rectangular lights have the distinct issue that they create pretty harsh lines on the walls that don't seem very natural. These, of course, also produce hard lines on the wall, but this seems a little bit more natural. Like if we put down something that emits light, like suggests the emission of light, this makes a lot more sense here. So I'll probably end up going with that some more. And you see here, this is one of those things, right? Because you see a very harsh line here due to one of these rectangular lights, surely. Oh, it's up here. So yeah, you see this pretty harsh light line up here, which I don't really like that much. Anyway, we come down here. We don't really have that much lighting going on here yet. And then we have some very basic lighting setup in this room as well. None of this is going to be like final lighting. A lot of the final lighting, of course, will come in once we have all the art assets in place as well. Because, like, how are you supposed to light a scene if you don't know what it's actually going to look like? This is just so that it's actually playable on higher scalability settings. because if we are at a lower scalability settings, we can just use the skylight for basic lighting. But the moment we don't have the skylight because it's being blocked by the walls here, this is what the game looks like, and that's unplayable. So it does compensate with like the actual emission materials, giving out some light there, which is nice. But yeah, so that's not really going to be like a thing that we want to deal with. So I decided to do some of that off stream because otherwise it's going to take fucking forever to get literally anywhere. And I put down the skylights to a nearly like 5% power. I'm going to put that back up so that we have some context as to what we're working on. And then we're going to get back to this maze and whatever the hell else we're going to be making today. I don't know. How's everybody doing today? That was a very long, rambling introduction. Hopefully not too long. So we did quite a bit of the maze last time. I'm going to hide the roof real quick so that we can actually look around a little bit more. We did quite a bit, right? Like, for the most part, we seem to have finished like this area of the maze, meaning that we only need to finish about, I would say, like a third that we have left. A fair bit of which, I'm sorry for hitting the microphone there. A fair bit of which I would say I could do without like too many obstacles as well. Like not everything should be obstacle free, obviously. But areas like this, it's fine if we just put down like 2 enemies here and call it a day. We probably should do something more involved with something over here. And then just like put down a couple of enemies here. I think that's pretty much all that we need, right? Like that should be good enough. At which point we can move on to one of the next levels. So let's just get going with that, shall we? We need to set our level context to level 1.5 first. And then, look, I don't know. I don't want to just put down like these little fuckers literally everywhere because they're getting a little all annoying. Right now, I can really start feeling the lack of diversity we have in enemies. Because if we go in here, right, we have characters, and we've got like the ground enemies. We don't have that many. We've got the basic demon, we've got the basic reaper, we've got a ghost, we've got a shaman, I suppose. We can put down a shaman or two. That would maybe work fairly well. But like, we don't have that much going on, all things considered. So we probably could do with a few more enemies. So I think after we finish up the level designs for for all of the levels in this dungeon, I think one of the very first things that we should do is design 3 more enemies at least before moving on to the next dungeon. I already have a rough block out of the next dungeon, of course. You can see that over here. This is the block out for the next dungeon. A rough one anyway, and there's a little bit of intersection going on. I'm aware. We're probably not going to be doing too much with this for the time being, because I think going through making some more enemies to fill out this dungeon with, and especially if we make enemies that are like fit everywhere throughout the entire game, we can reuse those in different places. Every dungeon should have at least like 1 or 2 enemies that are unique to it. But then I also just need a library of more generalized enemies that I can plop down anywhere for the sake of variety in like enemy encounters. Right now I just don't have enough of that. So after we finish the gameplay portion of this, before we move on to the art, I would argue even, I probably want to, I probably will want to make some more enemies, which also allows me to play around a little bit with Blender again. I probably don't actually do 2 shamans next to each other. That seems like a disaster. Let's not do that. Radius. Make that a little smaller as well. I guess we can put in a flying enemy as well. Maybe. We don't have that many of those in the game yet. The flying AI just doesn't work that well. But I guess in a scenario like this, that's actually kind of fine. Unless there's one issue. If it ends up flying up above the walls, that could be less than ideal. I think is the best way to put that. So, like, maybe we don't want that, but maybe we do. I don't know. I guess we'll see. For the radius on this one, I think let's actually have this one start acting. And then activate this one on overlap. Yep. We probably should make those easier to access. The idea being is that I have two like categories of enemies. Not air and ground. Also air and ground, but not just air and ground. I have like magical enemies, which this one technically would belong to as well because of like it's full of magic. But mostly like this more organic type of enemy. Like this little Reaper here and the demon that we have in the first tutorial world. And then I have what I call mechanical enemies, which is this and Spider. And that's it, I believe, for now. And I'm thinking right now that mechanical enemies should not spawn in, but just always be there, because they don't really have like anything magical to them. There's like lore implications there as well. I have a bunch of lore written for this shit. You have no idea. So these are just mechanical beings that patrol this area and are always there. Whereas these get triggered specifically when you're nearby. I think that is a neat way to like differentiate the two of them. Of course, there also is the thing that means that this thing can wander off wherever the fuck it wants when we're not near it, but we'll see whether or not that ends up being an issue or not. So yeah, we have that, which effectively just finishes up this corner, I would say. We can have a little bit of a reprieve here. There probably should be something there, like if nothing else, at least like a piece of art. Oh, do I have surface snapping on? I have surface snapping on. Definitely don't want that. At least not right now. Probably, if nothing else, just to have something in this corner as well. Doesn't even need to like spawn anything in or whatever. Then we get this bit here, another one of these like little like lone islands, as I like to call them. But there's two of them like side by side, so that could potentially be an interesting thing to do something with. I just don't want to do the same thing that I did here, right? Because right here we have these little zappy zap things. That's their official name now, zappy zap things. I guess what we could do is, oh, these are not aligned, are they? Oh, that's gonna bother me. Hold the fuck on. Let's fix that, because I don't want that to be the case, like, at all. I think now they should be aligned. Yeah, that's better. Guess we might as well do that. So the idea that I had is taking one of these like stomping things, copying it over, moving it over here. For now, this is okay as far as long as it doesn't stick out either side. Don't think it does. And making them go up and down alternate way. So when we enter through here, the idea would be, I don't know if this is going to work this way, but the idea would be that these Like they stick at the top and the bottom for like 3 seconds each, I think. And then the start offset for this will be 0.5. Actually, hold on. What we'll do is we will open up this level individually. Not this one actually. Did I select the wrong level? I think I selected the wrong level. Is this the wrong level? No, that's the right level. Never mind. So if you go into this level right away, we place down a quick little skylight just at a random place. We specify a cube map just for lighting purposes temporarily. Because now we can simulate this stuff. So actually see this happening. What I want to happen is I want these to alternate, and they do not. Why do they not? Does this need to have a start offset of 1? Because I don't think... Oh yeah, no, that might make sense. No, I don't think that does make sense. Does it? You know, they both start at the top. I don't think I programmed the offset properly for these things. We ran into this last time, I believe, as well. So what the fuck is up with the offset? So start offset is set new timeline. And then we set the play rate. So it's timeline going from 0 to 1. We only have the one timeline, right? I'm not going crazy on that. So why does that not work the way I thought it would? Let's just see what happens when we skip the set play rate. Does that change anything? With a start offset of 1, it should just... Yeah, so that makes sense. So start offset should be like 0.5. That should make it start at... Why do they both start at the top? Oh, hold on. Still doesn't make a lot of sense as to why they both start at the top. Well, no, it does actually. Kinda. But it's still not what I want to have happen. I guess what I want to have happen is actually no start offset. I just want the direction to be different. So can set play, right? That's fine. So I guess we just want to have like move all this stuff over. And we'll add a variable start reverse. Expose that. And if that is false, which by default will be, we will play. If that is true, we will just reverse. I think. I think we need to do something more involved than just a flip-flop here as well. Then we might need to do something like a multi-gate. So it does out 0, out 1, and then it doesn't do anything until we reset it. But we can set the start index to whatever we want. So I guess, can we just pull this along? So this will either be 0 or 1, right? So if start reverse is 0, at the end here we want to reverse, and if it is 1, yes. So I think this is what we want, maybe. Hello, Think81. Welcome. I have no idea if this is going to work. Let's see if it does. So we want this one to start reversed, and just there's a good chance that this is not going to work the way I want it to. This kind of seems to be doing what I wanted to do, but then, yeah, no. Yeah, so that definitely does not work that way, does it? Been a minute since I called a live session. Welcome back. You're always welcome back. I guess what we do is, instead of doing this with like a flip-flop or whatever, we do this instead with just the reverse bool. We can just reuse that. So if we are starting reverse, so if we are reversing, then we need to play from start, and if we're not reversing, then we need to do that. And then at the very end here, we just set the value for them again. So if it is false, we set it to true. If it is true, we set it to false. This is effectively just a custom built flip-flop, but it's a flip-flop that will like flip or flop one direction or the other first based on an input bool. So now that should work, I think. So they should be on alternating. They also don't seem to be on the same timing, I'm not gonna lie. The only difference between the two of them is the start reverse value. So what's going on there? Let's set this a little lower to like 0.3. Let's add both of these to 5. Because they should move at the same time. They should also stop moving at the same time. It doesn't seem like they do. It seems like there's a little offset between the two of them, right? Oh, definitely they... Okay, that is maybe a slight issue. Okay, now the duration is also equal, so they should be entirely in sync. They should be going down, up. But this thing is definitely moving slower. What would that be? The upward movement in general is slower. Is it something to do with reverse? What's going on? Because reverse should still respect like the play rate, right? But it seems like it might not be. Recently watched one of your older videos on rigging, and Rigify saved my life. It is a brilliant plugin in Blender to have Rigify. Unreal timeline, play rates when reversed. Is there any change the timeline reverse time rates? Yeah, it seems to be an issue with the play rate setting in reverse mode. I think. Let's see what it does when we reverse from end instead. Because that should always be reverse from end anyway. I don't know that that would make sense that it does anything different, but fucking might as well try. Yeah, so this definitely moves significantly slower. So the test, I suppose, would be setting both of these to 1 so that they are like at their proper original play rates and seeing if that makes them move in sync. It makes them move at the same time. At the same speed anyway. Kinda. Still doesn't move them at the same time, which is confusing because they don't have any offset either. Cloaks and capes. Difficult to answer. It kind of depends. The issue with simulation is that it's going to be clipping a lot. And that's not something that you're going to do much about. Like that's just a limitation of current technology in game engines. Is clothing sims are going to be clipping, especially when you are interacting with more complex geometry. They look better than most hand animated rigged clothing though, and it's generally easier to set up. Better as in the movement is better, it's more realistic, it is more dynamic, but it does have the clipping issue. So the best would probably be a little bit of both, where you can animate portions of the cloak through a rig, but then the cloak as a whole still gets pulled around through physics as well. Like we have with, let's see, like these guys. They have a skeleton that just goes like 1 bone, 2 bone, 3 bone, 4 bone, and some bones down the arms. But everything down from here to the bottom of their like little cloak cloth things is also painted to have cloth simulation going on for them. So when I animate them and when I move them, that movement then also informs how it gets simulated. There's also the fact that cloth simulation, especially if it has to be somewhat decently looking in terms of quality, is relatively expensive to compute. So if it's going to be a thing that is instanced a lot, like an anime, I know that in my case, there's not going to be like more than 5, maybe 10 animes on screen at once. So it's probably fine. But if you're making a fucking Dynasty Warriors type game or whatever, it might be... I just realized something. I have a solution, I think. It's a bit of a hacky solution, but I have a solution. If you're making a like Dynasty type, Dynasty Warriors type game, like Hyrule Warriors, that kind of thing, where you're going through a lot of enemies, having them all simulated might be a bit of a pain as well. So maybe you don't want to do it there. So it's kind of situational on what might work best, but in general, I think, yeah, there we go. In general, I think that's kind of what I like to do. Oh man, I've got such a stiff neck today. So I probably should be getting in a slightly better posture than I am, to be honest with you, as well. I'm leaning forward a bit more to talk more into the microphone. Because I'm like, maybe that'll help with the reverb. But that's not how that works at all. Yeah, so the idea that I had, actually, is to just rotate this fucking thing around. Doesn't solve the issue with the code, but it does fix my other stuff. Also, why the fuck is the collision? Is the collision on all of these fucked now again? Oh my god, every time I compile it, it's fucking me. Anyway, let's see if this makes them alternate the way I want it to. Not even. What the fuck? Yeah, not even a bit. Something about the reversing from end is just super fucked. And I don't know why. This is going to be printing out a lot of strings for a lot of these objects. I don't think that's going to be helpful, actually. Yeah, this is just a jumbled mess. Of stuff. So that actually doesn't help. Didn't I just replace this back with a flip-flop? Am I going insane? I guess this is actually the better way to do it. So it is forward, it is going to go backwards, and if it's backwards, it's going to go forward. So then this will work. Yeah, that's probably better to do it that way. Yeah, so let's go back to setting these to duration 1 and duration 1. And then both of these are exactly equal now, except that this one starts reversed. They still don't move at the same time. Why do they still not move at the same time? I guess something to do with the start offset. So if the start offset is... Oh, that's the issue, because it is at... I need to do a little bit more math. So if it starts reversed, the start offset needs to be 1 minus the start offset. Instead of just the start offset. Just begin play is what triggers them to start moving. So yeah, start offset. If start reversed. If not, we just go on to do that. But if it is starting reversed, it should be 1 minus its value. So that way it will start at the end when the start value, like the start offset, is 0. So it'll actually, because what is happening right now is it's playing it in reverse. But since the starting value is 0, it immediately finishes and waits for the 5 seconds. And what it needs to do is it needs to start at 1 and then go back instead. So that's why they're desynced at the moment. Because right now, that should mean that they are synced. There's still something fucky going on with their timing. Don't get me wrong. There's still... something isn't entirely right about their timing. And I don't know why. Both of them have... oh, this one has a start offset of 1 now. That's fucking why. Wait. Oh, no, that makes sense because that's what that says programmatically. So why, like, everything else between the two of these is the same. I'm just going to set this to 0.5 for both of them and see if that, like, eliminates any issues, like, at all. Yeah, no. There also is, like, legitimately just a difference in speed, right? I'm not going crazy over that. I'm going to skip this set new time for a moment. And I'm also going to skip the set play rate. I'm just going to have it immediately go into the playing of the thing. How did that make it worse? Let's set these back to 0 for both of them. Why does this finish moving before this one starts moving? That makes no sense. I'm just going to reverse from end and play from start. Okay, so now they're starting... why do they desync? Why are they not synced? Why does this one almost finish moving before this one starts moving? That's... why are they moving at different speeds? How does any of this make anything close to sense? Oh, that's why. Okay. That's why. Okay. Okay. Time going up ratio. Okay. We figured it the fuck out. So for anybody who didn't catch that, we set the play rate here to be the duration multiplied by like 2.5 in this case. So there's actually an issue with that to begin with, isn't there? Oh no, and when we go up, it goes up slower, and when it goes down faster. which is fine for the most part because that's how I want things to be. But for these specific ones, I do want them to be exactly in sync. So I want them to go up and down at exactly the same speed. So that should be the case now. There we go. Okay, so let's see if they stay in sync. Now they're in sync. Yeah, so that was my mistake. So when we're here, this is open. And if we wait long enough, this one opens instead. At the end of the day, it literally doesn't matter because they both lead to the exact same spot, which is the other side of this wall. But it gives the illusion of a choice and importance, which again is so much more important than actual importance. So let's stick with this and just say that that's good to go for now. Then I don't think we need this hallway to particularly have anything in it. And then this eventually leads down like a trap hole into an enemy. So I think that's pretty good. Honestly, let's move both of these over a little bit. That's a bit better, I think. This is immediately pretty empty, and then this is the actual route that you need to take. I don't know that I need necessarily to have any more obstacles down below in here. I think we're pretty much good to go as far as this maze goes, if I'm being real with you. And it's kind of crazy to say that because I only added one little bit of art. And then these two things, which were a pain to deal with, obviously, but still. After that, I don't... Well, I only locked down a couple of enemies, which I suppose, just to say fuck you to anybody playing this, we can put down like one of these little dudes. In here. So if you actually like make the mistake of going down here, you get an enemy to ruin your day. Like, to be fair, if you run around this corner and you see this dead end and you walk into it, you do deserve to get a slap in the face, I would say. So I guess that's the thing. And then over here, because we have this little like crossroads almost area, which looks a little wacky, I'll be honest. We probably want to put down something here as well in the form of an enemy. What are you making? At the moment, we're making a maze to go into this game, which is probably the most involved level we've made so far. So that's actually kind of cool. Choices should have consequences. Yeah, especially when it's a stupid choice, right? So this can have a pretty big activation radius, I would say. So no matter what, like if you're going down here, actually, I think I'm going to put you down here. So what ends up happening if you end up here, because I think you always will end up here. The only way to get to the end is through this path. So you always will end up here. And now the choice here becomes more important anyway, because you can go to the left, which will mean that you have to take this path, which means that you have to trigger this dude. But you can also go to the right, which, if you know to be careful, means that you can avoid going over his trigger zone. Especially if we like move this guy a little bit over there and then make his trigger zone even smaller. You can just walk around like this and you don't have to trigger him at all. But if you just take the first left turn you see, you are going to be triggering him as well. So I think that's also, like, it's not a thing that people are informed about when they first play through. It's one of those kind of things where, hey, if you don't want to be dealing with this and there's like your third time going through this map, and you know that this is a route that you can take, that might be a little bit of a fun thing. It's not quite a roguelike style, because nothing here is procedurally generated, right? It's just like the entire... I don't have all the levels open right now. The entire dungeon is entirely pre-made. It's more of a Metroidvania, I would say. It lacks a couple of things like progression unlocks and like ability unlocks that like unlock that progression that you would find in a normal Metroidvania game. So it's not quite a Metroidvania, but it's probably the closest like analog that I can think of right now. I don't want to call it open world because I don't like the name open world because it can literally mean anything. But technically speaking, I suppose it is an open world, and I guess we kind of are finished with this bit as well, so I might as well go back to the persistent level and show you. Where is it? It's in here. There we go. Yeah, so they will play through it once, unless they replay or they die. Because when you die, you respawn at, and that is a little Souls-like. When you die, you respawn at the last save point. So I'm just like enabling all the levels that I have so far, which is quite a lot of them. Down here we have the tutorial area. So here we have the first save point of the game. When you overlap with this just sets it as like the active checkpoint, and then if you die like in here, you get sent back here. But if you die in this here, you also get sent back there. And if you were to die, I don't fucking know, over here somewhere, and you haven't done any checkpoints, you will get sent back to the last checkpoint. So there very much is a scenario thinkable. Let me turn off the red dungeon real quick. There very much is a scenario that is reasonably like thinkable, where you... Hold on a moment. That'll load in. Where you get into here and even get through the entire dungeon. And if you make it out the other way... Well, I guess actually, if you make it through the dungeon, this level does have a save point in it before any like actual danger happens. So you wouldn't likely go through that area, where the hell I put it. You wouldn't likely go through here and die and then have to go through here again. Unless you literally die to like this enemy at this point, but after this thing spawns, if you go the right way, you will be at the end of this level very, very quickly. So there might not be as much value to this little design quirk than I thought. We're going to keep it in there though for now. We'll see. Maybe I'll replace it. So yeah, we already have this thing set up, which I just need to put in the enemies here in the enemy spawner, which I get I can't talk. Which I guess I might as well do right now. So we have a spawner, right? PP spawner. Action radius can be pretty big for this one. That's probably pretty good. Yeah, I'm fine with that. And we just plop down a bunch of enemies. Let's start with 2 Reapers, which are gonna be on the fucking roof, because I still haven't looked into how to fix it using the overlap sphere as part of its collision in the viewport. It's really annoying. And then these ones activate on overlap is false. Yeah, I'm just kind of willy-nilly putting these down, to be honest with you. So let's start with 2 Reapers and then some Ghosts as well. Which again is gonna start up there. That's just how my life is. Then what else do we have? This is where I really run into the lack of enemy variety at this point in time. Now let's set the radius for all these to 0 as well. Because they literally don't need to have any radius. I guess that's wave 1, and then for now, let's just copy them over. I think it'll be nice to have like Reapers in all 3 waves. They are very diagonal. In all like 3 waves that we have for this, and then have the rest be something different. So we have Reaper, Reaper, and then Ghost, Ghost. And then we'll have like Golem, Golem or something like that. And it's all subject to change, obviously. Because there's going to be more enemies introduced later. Gotta duck out. Thanks so much for streaming. Love watching creators work. I will see you next time. Or not. We'll see. So then we have Golem Golem, which technically already goes against the idea that the golems don't spawn from anywhere. But this is a spawn and it's different. And then I guess we can do Shaman. Just 1 shot. I don't think we want to be doing multiple Shaman at the same time. That's, especially if there's already 2 Reapers, that feels like it'll get annoying real fucking quick. So yeah, let's go with that. Then we go in here and we say, hey, waves. We have 3 waves, and then each one of those has like Reaper, Reaper, Ghosts, Ghosts. The next one has 4 as well, which will be Reaper, Reaper, Golem, 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 thank you. What are we making? At the moment, I'm just kind of going through setting up what is placeholders for a like wave of enemy mobs to fight. After that, I don't really know what we're going to be doing, but we're making a action RPG as like a overall kind of thing. And let's make sure that all of these actually don't activate on overlap. So activate on overlap should be false for all of them, and then their radius for all of them should also be 0. I guess we can just kind of test out the combat here real quick. Oh, the audio is still over the speakers. Hold on. That should be better, right? Is it? Yes, I'm just very quiet. There we go. But OBS doesn't pick it up. Hold on. OBS, you should be picking it up. Why aren't you? Are you not doing it default output? Who cares? Picking it up now? You are. It's very quiet, but that's fine. I think we have combat trial here, right? Yes, we do. I don't have any lighting in place, so I can't actually set in or set up the... Wait, what the fuck? Why? There's two. There's two third-person characters, right? No. Start. Player start. Did I put in a player start anywhere? I think I might have. Why does it fuck up? Because this is all the way back there. That adds up. So then why? Yes, there is two of them. Where's the other one? Why is another one all the way the fuck over here? What the hell? I'm playing as this one. What is this one doing? Where is that getting spawned in? What the hell? Got spawned in right at the start of the gameplay though. So that must be done through... Oh god, where do I do that again? In the game instance? Must be through here somewhere. Do we spawn actor of class anywhere? Spawn player. No. Is it in one of the unloaded streaming levels for some reason? No, that wouldn't make any sense either. Why does it spawn in a second player character? How did I manage to do that? Because that legitimately is an issue. A pretty big one, actually. What does it do when I play new game? Does it fuck up as well? Still can't detect any... When did this happen? What introduced this? What the fuck? Is it in the game mode for whatever reason? Would be weird, but better check it out. Yeah, no. It must be a player start that I put in somewhere then. So where does it exist, actually? That's... Yeah, here. Player store. Fucking... Player new game spawn. I don't think we use it anymore, but sure. Yeah, we definitely don't use it anymore, I don't think. Right? Yeah, we don't. So, is this... It's not even in the same place. Hold on, is this just, like, down below here? Yes, it is. It doesn't even start at 000, so... What? Is there anything down here that could be causing this? Sure, it's just a static mesh component. I don't think... Yeah, so that's for the opening cutscene, that's fine. This, I don't know. This is an issue because I can't actually do anything. While there's two characters around. At least I can't attack, which is even fucking weirder. Because I can dash. Both of which are gameplay abilities. Oh, when I change weapons I can attack. So it just doesn't grant abilities on startup. Why would that be? I'm really confused. I'll try to look into this one and see. They appear to be in the same location, which is the fucking weirdest thing ever. Oh, it's because I'm looking at the weapon. Okay, never mind. But even then, oh, I'm an idiot. Oh yeah, no, they're definitely in different locations. This one also appears to be... Okay, no, that makes sense. I'm clueless. I have no idea. So this is clearly the one that we're possessing. So this must be the duplicate that's getting spawned in. Just out of curiosity, let's save everything and delete this one and see if it breaks stuff. It probably will. Yeah, that will break some cutscenes, I know. It doesn't even possess him. He just fucking exists. Oh, I know what happened. The default pawn class. It spawns in it as a default pawn, which we don't want. I set that up So I could, yeah, no, okay. Now it only spawns in one. Okay. That took me way too long to realize. Anyway, so now it should have all the abilities by default and stuff. Yeah, okay. So everything works. Okay, we're back on track. We can kill some enemies here. Okay, that's less than ideal. I also need to sort out the knockback animation so that they stop flipping through the wall when they get knocked back. But that's a future me issue. I was gonna say. That's remarkably, actually, kind of more tricky than I thought it was gonna be. Definitely should not allow you to walk back up after the enemy spawn. Like when the enemy spawn, there should be an invisible wall here. Yeah. Yeah, so the flying enemies kind of like suck with their AI. They just kind of float up and walk off into nowhere. Man, they all coming for. Okay, this is actually this is a little bit more tricky than I thought it was going to be. Once again, definitely an invisible wall needed here. I did end up sorting it out anyway, so that's a good thing. But it's kind of embarrassing how long it took. Not gonna lie. Oh, there he is. Something weird about these things disappearing. While I have my like hard lock onto them. That's not great, but for now this will work. Again, we need more enemies anyway. But that's gonna be a we'll do that later type of thing. Well, I actually do have a lot of HP in this so far. Activate star, I don't care. Okay, so this will be level 1-6, so sub-level 1-6. We already have some stuff. Assign on destroyed. Spawn actor or class or from class. E. I think it's just called test key. Get transform. Put that over there. Only do that if event has not yet happened though. It was a little funky, but we'll get there. Assign on destroyed. Set event happened. It's true. So now it'll spawn a key that I can pick up. Holy fuck, someone's calling me. Hold on. How about no? Let's actually see. That's it. Number I should be calling back. I think this is just a spam call. If it's just a spam call, I'm blocking the hell out of this number. Oh, fuck off. It's a charity that I gave money to like one time 5 years ago, and now they call me like twice a year. And I've told them literally, hey, if you stop calling me for at least a year, I might reconsider. But anytime you call me again, the timer resets. I'm not giving you any money until you leave me the fuck alone. And they still call me. I know it's different people within the organization, so it's not like it's noted down next to my name, hey, don't call this person for like a year. But I've told them to stop calling me. I'm on a no-call list. They fucking ignore it. At that point, it's not my responsibility that they don't can do their charity thing. Because they're ignoring literally what I'm telling them. Is that a bit of a dick move? Yes, it is. Do I care? Not really. Like, I gave them money, and now they just call me every once in a while to beg for more. Which, like, I'll give you money when I feel like I have money to spare that I want to spend on, like, charity. Which is sometimes. But if you're going to be bothering me for it, it's definitely not going to be your charity. I'm telling you that much. I don't know. I kind of have the same thing with telemarketing that most people have with advertising in general. And that is, if I see your ad, the likelihood of me buying your stuff actually goes down like tenfold. If you call me from a telemarketer, I am definitely not giving you money. If you just leave me the fuck alone, I don't know. I might. Admittedly, that's like on average not how people react to this kind of stuff. So it's still worth it if they like lose my pledge and get like 10 other ones. They're still getting more money by just calling people randomly from their list. But man, I hate that stuff. Yeah, so for now I think this thing down here will do. Let's test whether or not it actually spawns the thing and then does the thing. But I think it should. And then we can move on to the next room in the game. This takes a hot minute to do for testing, but I might be able to just like level myself in strength to the point where these guys are like 2-hit KOs. But it's good to also have a halfway reasonable experience of what gameplay actually will be like, I suppose. There you go. There you go. And now you die. I think I might have slimmed down the homing properties of the attacks a little too much, because it feels like I'm missing ever so slightly more than I ideally should. Then again, there I actually landed up with a good combo, so maybe it's not that bad, I don't know. Where's my last dude? There's my last dude. Are you gonna shoot me, or are you just gonna hang around? Because I can just like come up there and kill you instead. Yeah, the AI for the flying dudes is utterly fucked. Man, this combination of enemies is actually kind of tricky to deal with. Because they both have this like long range delayed attack, I suppose. It kind of makes you rethink the order of operations that you're going to be dealing with. Anyway, now you're dead. Did not spawn a key. But that might be because I already technically have the thing flipped for that. The ball. Like the event flag might already be true. Combat trial. Yeah, as happens already true here. So let's set that to false. Back there? No, actually not back there, because I want to be able to read my chat. Can't wait until I have my third monitor so that I can put that kind of stuff up on my third monitor. I plan on ordering a new monitor after the stream, actually. It should be arriving like tomorrow or Thursday. So by the next stream I should have it. The next stream, by the way, is not going to be Thursday. I talked about this last week, but I have like other things going on Thursday. So I'll probably stream on like Saturday instead this week. But by that time I should have my new monitor installed, which means that I'll have 3 monitors during the stream, which means that I can finally Google stuff and still have chat open, which is... You have no idea how annoying it is to be looking up something on Google. And then somebody in chat already gave the answer like 5 minutes ago. And then when I close down my Google Chrome like tabs, and I go back to OBS to see the chat again, it has the answer that I just spent like 5-10 minutes Googling. If I can just read you guys' answers to the things that I'm looking for, that would be fucking grand. So yeah, 3 monitors is kind of like a thing. Because I have OBS on 1 monitor, and then I'll have Unreal on the main monitor that I'm actually streaming. Where's the last dude? Oh, there's the last dude. Yeah, so again, the flying enemies are kind of weird. Specifically these ones, because I guess what he's trying to do is he's trying to get to a place that he can't get to. So he gets stuck on the ceiling. So what I should do is I should do a line trace whenever he tries to move somewhere and see... I think he already does that. I think he does like a capsule trace. So yeah, it spawns in the key now, probably. That's good. Yeah, so I think they do like a capsule trace to whatever location they are supposed to move to. So they should never be getting stuck like that, but I digress. That's not really an issue that I want to be... Okay, so what the hell... I don't really care. I guess one of the enemies in there... Oh, that might be the... What? No. It's the sword. Huh. Oh, again, don't care. So let's see what we do next. I think the plan was to do this level next. Because what this is supposed to be is it's supposed to be a little bit of a platforming way up into the platforming level, which I don't think we're going to redesign a lot about this, because this kind of just works already as it is. Maybe we could redo some of these parts. I'll have to think about it. Probably won't get to that today anyway. And then we need to do a little bit of light platforming here to get to there, but also to get to this door which leads to here, which is the maze room. But instead of going through the maze, you platform over the walls of the maze to get an alternate entrance to the red dungeon. So it needs to be something that moves you up a fair bit, especially since this room itself, you enter through going down a flight of stairs first. So there's gonna be like a thing to it. But let's set our level context to 1.9. And then just remove the outside walls. Okay. Let's try to line this up at least somewhat reasonably with the what the fuck? Yeah, so with this space over here, and then I think I do want to move this one a fair bit over that direction as well. That one can keep being there. Remove these. Okay, I think we're good to go. So we can just copy this over. Yeah, that's fine. And matter of fact, we don't even need to change its like orientation at all. I don't think, because it's already lined up properly. That's kind of nice. Okay, let's create the floor for this. It's going to be quite a large room. It's going to be a quite square room as well, as many of these are. Because that's just kind of what we do. Something like this. That might be a bit too large. That's definitely a bit too large. Something a little bit more like this is what I had in mind. This seems pretty good as far as size goes. Can pull this one a little bit back in that direction. And then go back to 100 units in height. All right, that's the floor plan. Or at least that's the floor. And now we'll have to fill it up with stuff. First, let's put down the walls, actually. So that can be like 1,000 units high, maybe? What the f— oh, there we go. Oh, that's 10,000. That's why it's so ridiculously high. Yeah, that's just this up all the way like that. That's pretty good. Okay, this is gonna have some light platforming for the most part. We'll probably throw in a couple of enemies to compensate for the fact that the platforming is gonna be relatively easy. Because the actual platforming challenge will be the next room. Man, it's getting dark in here. I moved my desk, as I said at the beginning of the stream, which is why the audio quality isn't great, because there's a little reverb in this little corner here. But it also is further away from the window, so it gets darker in this corner a little earlier. I probably should go put on a light or something in a moment. But we'll first finish off giving this thing a proper roof. Okay, so this definitely needs a second floor. So let's give it one. And then let's think about what we actually want to do with this, because I have no fucking clue, to be 100% real with you. This probably should be somewhat tricky to get to this area, because it's like entirely optional. Well, this area should be somewhat easily accessible. So what I'm thinking is you can make your way up here, and then there's platforming that takes you up over there. Right, so if we just matter of fact, let's just pull this all the way down. How steep would a ramp be to make this work? If we want to just, instead of platform all the way up here, we can just zigzag a little bit. Again, with a ramp. I'm just trying some things out. I don't know if this is going to work out very well. Probably not much steeper than this, right? So we would end up with something like this. I don't know if I love that. I also don't know if I hate it. So I suppose there's room for it to grow on me. Oh, this should be one little block more over in that direction. Oh, this can actually make for some interesting stuff, right? Because we can... yeah, I have some fun idea here. Hold on. I want to prevent the level designs from falling into the Kingdom Hearts 2 pitfall of just ending up being hallways. I talked about this a little bit in a community post and on the Discord. And this at this point is just a hallway up and then like a split over there. But that can be enough to prevent it from just being a hallway. But what we can potentially do is what I'm thinking. Just like pull this up a little bit. A little bit more. Just to make it feel a little bit more structurally like intact. We can put some optional stuff down here, right? So what we get is we get to go like up here-ish. And then we'll let's do this a little bit more methodically. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. It's just 1. 1, 2, 3. That keeps the same angle to it. That's the most important bit, I think. No idea if this is going to work very well, I should point out. But this way we can walk up here and then, I don't know, feels a little, oh, there's also not a lot of room here to be doing that with, realize now, but that actually might make it feel even less open, so that might be a good thing. Because that might allow me to, like, if we just pull, oh, no, if we just pull this up a fair bit, like this, and then we pull this over a bit, make this symmetrical. Could even make it go down a bit more, I think. Can definitely like, move this over. And down. And it creates a little, secret little hallway. Well, it's not that secret. I will admit. It's very non-secret, actually. It's probably nicer looking if we have this here as well, though. No idea what we're going to put here, but it makes it feel less one-dimensional, right? And I think that's quite good. I think that's quite important. What do we do with this then? Do we fill this out like this as well? Well, this actually, ooh, that might be nice. That might be nice. This might be a little tight though. That could be part of the charm. Could be part of the charm. Yeah, let's keep it like that for now. And then we'll eventually this will probably be animated stuff to platform over because it needs to be more complicated platforming, but for now I think we'll do fine with just having some normal platforms to jump over, which are allowed to be a little small. But you can definitely see if these like move in and out of the walls or something like that. It's probably good. One, two, three. That's probably a makeable jump, right? This can become quite a bit of tricky platforming, I think. Which is good for an optional area. And then on the way up, we can throw in a couple of enemies. Which again, most enemies that we are going to be putting in are going to be very much temporary. Where is the radius? Something like that. Don't need snapping on for these. There's no really use in putting enemies here, right? I guess what we could do is we could okay, that's a little bit mean, but what we could do is we could put down like a Reaper here, because even if you get up here, then you need to platform over this. But if this thing is alive, it's going to make that more difficult. So yeah, that's a little bit mean, but I think that's probably a good thing to put in there. It's just one enemy to take care of if you want to do that little platforming thing. So I think that this is, yeah, again, there's not actually that much platforming to it whatsoever in the end, except for this optional little bit. But like this little walk up to the top. Feels kind of good, doesn't it? And then I'm thinking we can put a special enemy down here or something. So for now, let's just put a shaman down here. We might do something else with it later, like not quite mini boss levels, I don't think, because that would require me to like make a mini boss. But we might do something with it. Something a little bit more involved, something a little bit more custom. For now, we just do this, and then can we say how much experience this thing drops on death? Yeah, so we can just make this thing drop like a bunch of experience. And I think we can even give him like custom stats to initialize with, right? Yeah, default starting data. We could put in different starting data so that he is more powerful. So it'll be the same AI, just more powerful and more painful to deal with. So that could be kind of neat. Like if we go in here and we just say default shaman attribute blah blah blah, and then we call this, instead of default, we call this no. Let's call this something like attribute shaman mini boss. As to be fair, we could also do something like that for all of the spawner enemies, just make them more powerful. So we have the attribute set here. We can set the health to being like twice the amount for this. The mana doesn't really matter. We don't really do anything with that, to be honest. The max defense we can set to also being twice the amount, so he's just twice the strength. And then the damage, maybe not quite twice, like 50% extra. But it will keep the same knockback. It's just a value that we override anyway. So yeah, that'll make him a stronger variation of this enemy. So if we look for the shaman mini boss, it's just as easy as that to set up, really. And I guess we might as well just give this a shot to access. What's the easiest way to get to this? I think it is starting in, yeah, the combat trial room. Let's give it a shot. I probably should move the save point back up just for testing purposes. It's a bit of a slow day today for the viewership in the chat, I think. That's fine. Which one is it? I think it's the one without skulls next to it. I purposely put some art decoration up at the door so that I can see which one is which. Okay, so that's the one that leads to the maze. Then this, I think, this is the one that leads to the boss because it has the two skulls next to it. The other one has two skulls and pillars, which is definitely different. Yeah, so this one leads down. And then in this direction, we go for the stair step thing. Yeah, so there's definitely a lot of empty room over there, I realize now, which is just there to facilitate that thing. So maybe that can just be a block in and of itself, to be honest with you. We'll think about what to do with that. Should I spawn in enemies in once? I feel like enemies should always spawn in with a couple of enemies to deal with, right? Yeah. I think all of these should have two enemies, because just one enemy is easy to juggle. Like even this quote-unquote mini-boss one, like look at how easily I am demolishing him. And then getting a bunch of experience from it. So yeah, I don't think having enemies spawning in singular amounts is a great idea. So I might have to revisit the way... Ah, fuck! I might have to revisit the way enemy spawning works. Where they just like belong to a like overlap sphere instead. I think that makes more sense, yeah. And it's really easy to program, so that should be fine. Let's see if these jumps are makeable. Jumps are... fuck. They're pretty tight jumps. But especially once ledge grabbing works for those, that shouldn't be that big a deal anymore. Even without it, like I don't have any shadow to show where... And this is exactly what I meant with it's a little bit mean to put in a Reaper there, because it's kind of annoying to avoid, but... Ooh, these are really difficult jumps. And when they are... Okay, so when those start moving, that might be a painful jump to make. So what I'll probably do is re-enable snapping real quick. Probably do this, but make sure that these are on offset cycles. So that the jump from this one to this one isn't easy as this, but it's a little bit easier than making it all the way over here. Maybe even move it like a little bit over there. Well, actually, I don't think I'm going to make these grabbable because they are going to be moving. So these actually will be pretty tight jumps to make. Maybe a bit too much. We'll see. I'll have to just hand it over to some people to test. Yeah, so let's real quick make an enemy activation thing. Should be pretty easy to set up. I don't even have Rider open. Holy hell. It's gonna be an actor. Enemy activator. Activator. Did I misspell it? I think I misspelled it. It's gonna bother me for the rest of the development. Okay, enemy activator. This is relatively easy. This should be... this can be protected. U property. Fuck. Visible anywhere. Edit anywhere. U. Do I always want it to be a sphere? Maybe I don't always want it to be a sphere. Let's make it a box. It's a little bit more editable. We can forward quickly edit, that's fine. U box components, overlap, box. Oh, visible anywhere is not needed because we have added anywhere. Makes sense. Overlap box equals create default, oh, equal sign, create default subobject of type U box components, and then text overlap box, root components. We have like separate components. Yes. It's a little bit better than just setting it directly, I suppose. I don't know if it does anything else. Yeah, it ensures that it's not a null pointer and it gets owner and stuff. Okay, so it does do some other stuff. And then we on begin play. Actually, we probably just have a on actor begin overlap, right? I always forget what the C++ version of that function is called. Let's ask ChatGPT actually instead of Google. Unreal Engine C++ on actor begin overlap function. Unreal has a built-in one for actors as a whole instead of per component, right? Yeah, so on actor begin overlap, that's the one I want. I don't want to fucking bind any other stuff. I just want to check, hey, the thing that I'm overlapping with has an overlap actor. Don't care about the components. Yeah, that's better. Are they still delegates? What the fuck? Okay, apparently they're still delegates. New function. Void on actor begin. Yeah, notify actor begin overlap. What the fuck are we talking about? What the, hold on. Generate definition. Oh, I can't overwrite that. Well, maybe I can. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. We'll just do it the other way then. Fine. On actor begin overlap. And then we have, I'm just going to copy this over actually. It doesn't make any sense. But we'll try it anyway. So we have on actor begin overlap dot let's get rid of the on here so that IntelliSense doesn't get confused. I think ChatGPT is just hallucinating at this point, to be honest with you. Oh no, it does. Add dynamic. This, and then plug in address of a enemy activator begin overlap. Okay, sure, that works for me. That doesn't need to be public now. That can be protected as well. And then u property, add it anywhere, t array of type a enemy for declare enemies. What's your issue? Yeah. Oh, enemy pointers. Then for a enemy in enemies, a enemy pointer. Yeah, I know. Enemy activate enemy, and then I will just destroy this actor itself, because we don't need it after that anymore. I guess we could make a system where enemies, after a certain time of not seeing the player, like despawn themselves back to their original position, and like, very Kingdom Hearts-esque, right? But for now, I think we're just gonna keep it with this. Just enemies, when they're spawned in, and you have to deal with that. Which does mean we have to go over every single little bit again, and oh my god. I guess we have to go back through the enemy as well. So we can finally take out the overlap sphere on these fuckers. Yeah, so does this add it through begin play, through active begin overlap begin? Oh, it does. Okay, sure. Where's begin overlap? Let's get rid of that. Oh, we also need to make sure that the enemy is the player character. That's true. We'll do that in a moment. So we did that. Then we can go back up to begin play. Don't need this add dynamic thing anymore. In the header file, we don't need the... You can just look this up actually. Sphere component, don't need to forward declare it, and then don't need to do this with it, which means that in the CPP file we probably also have something in the constructor that we're going to need to remove. There we have it. All of this, as a matter of fact. Yes. So then in the enemy activator, we also, if overlap actor does not equal gameplay statics get player character. It's this and 0, I think, right? Then we might as well do it like this. Return. It thinks that this is never going to run. But if it overlaps with the player character, this definitely is going to run. So, fuck off. Yeah, that should be an updated enemy activation system, I think. So let's run that. Oh, or maybe not. Is it because this is... It might be because Unreal itself is still running as like a separate process. Sometimes it does that. Yeah. Oh, overlap sphere. Oh, there's an overlap. Oh, enemy overlap sphere radius. Don't need that anymore. So we're not going to go over the entire... Fuck, where do we have... What do you mean? Did it put in... Oh, yeah, that's... It might be... Didn't need to do that. On this if statement. There we go. Oh, and now this... Okay, so it was actually warning me about something that was fucked up. Fair enough. So yeah, I'm not going to go over the entire game now. If at any point in my life it will compile, that is. Let me finish my sentence and then we'll try to recompile again in a moment. I'm not going to go over right now and replace every single set of enemies spawning behavior with this new spawning system. That'll be a nice thing to do in next stream, actually, because that's going to take a little while. Enemy begin overlap. I don't even have that anymore, do I? Begin overlap. Well, does it still exist in the header file? Is that the issue? Might be the issue because it's a linker. Yeah, there we go. Because it's a linker error. Probably should have figured that out. It's trying to link it to a function that doesn't have an implementation. Doesn't like doing that. Why does a hard drive spin up at that? None of this is on a hard drive. This is all on SSD. Okay, sure. Sometimes my hard drives just spin up for no reason. I finally put in... I have a new case that can house my hard drives that I still had from like years ago. Alongside my SSDs. So I still have a couple of hard drives that are now back in my PC for like 5 terabytes or something in total. Maybe 6. I just put them in there for like archive storage, which is nice. But they just seemingly seem to spin up even if I'm not using them, which is kind of weird. Anyway. So now if I go into the persistent world, all the enemies should no longer have overlap spheres, which is going to make this so much easier to deal with. So let's... I suppose we can do the tutorial. Right? Just to see how the system works now. So I guess that these actually just... They're linked to the spawner, so we don't need to do anything about those. But this little fucker doesn't have an overlap thing anymore. But we can make like 3 of them appear instead. It's pretty annoying that I want this to be somewhat symmetrical and it's not letting me. I guess we can just kind of like do this. I guess it's symmetrical enough. Yeah, so if I just look into Activator, that'll let me set these up. Doesn't even need to overlap them, to be honest. Well, I'll probably shoot for the return direction, but yeah, and then we can just say, hey, we made that a U property, right? Oh, that's on the actor itself. Just add these 3 enemies in there. Oh, it's because they're in a different level. Hold on. They should be in combat tutorial, so move. Let's to selected level. Put these 3 in there. These 2 are also in the persistent world, of course. Maybe something to more easily select this thing by than just the edges of its collision, but we'll look into making that a reality at some point in the future. Not right now. Actually, new game. Level that, good. Let's murder this demon. And now the moment of truth. If we go in here, it should spawn fucking none of them. Why not? I guess this thing might not have its collision settings set up to overlap, or does it not generate overlap events? Does it? No, it does. Overlap all dynamic. So it's overlapping with pretty much everything. So I guess it's not registering this as... Oh, other actor, not overlap actor. That makes sense. So this actually was never going to run. Huh, what do you know? We can just like patch that in, right? That's fine. Like, is it control something? Just do it real quick like that. That's a dumb mistake on my part. Okay, moment of truth number 2. Should spawn them all in. And it does. Fantastic. I don't think they have nav mesh to walk on all the way back here. Maybe that's the issue. Is that the issue? That might be the issue. Yeah, so these fuckers just don't have a nav mesh. That's fine. We can we can fix that pretty easy. Oh, that's a blocking volume. It's not the thing that I wanted to copy. Navmesh bounds volume. There we go. Let's take this, move it over here, and then we'll just kind of. There we go. We have enough mesh. It's unreasonably big at this point, but it'll do. Okay. I think we're going to leave it there for today. I'm getting a little tired. It's been a long day today. And again, on Thursday, there's not going to... and there's like literally nobody watching at this point, I don't think. So that's also fine. On Thursday, we're going to... let's just put some down here as well. We're not going to be streaming on Thursday. It'll probably be a Saturday stream instead, because I won't be home on Thursday. I've got other stuff going on. But we'll make up for it over the weekend. And then we'll probably like be placing down a bunch more of these things. So there's only spawns under one enemy. So for one enemy, it's kind of bothersome to have to put in an entirely separate actor. Did I copy that over now? Yes. To do its collision overlap, but it also fixes the issue of the overlap. Yeah, let's keep it there. It also fixes the issue of the overlap collision fucking with me when I try to place down an enemy. So that's kind of nice. I think that's all the enemies in the tutorial area, actually. Yes. I think that is an improvement, having made that. So, thanks everybody for tuning in and hanging out. And I'll be back later this week, again, during the weekend sometime, probably on Saturday, but maybe it'll be Sunday, but it'll probably be Saturday, because Saturday. See ya!